You pretty much secured the southern border, haven't you?
Yes, sir. The CBP,
And that upsets some of my colleagues, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
They say you've done it the wrong way, haven't they? Mm-hmm. Could you answer that?
Yes, sir. They do say that.
Do you think they're upset because you supposedly did it the wrong way, or you think they're upset that you did it at all?
I think they're upset that by President Trump enforcing the law, it happened so quickly and successfully.
Yeah. Now, when President Biden came into office, the first thing he did was get rid of all of the things we were doing to stop people from coming into our country illegally, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, it was like the Price is Right. Come on down. Except he said, come on in. And most of my Democratic colleagues went along with that, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yes, they did.
In fact, they cheered him on, didn't they? Mm-hmm. Is that a yes?
Yes, sir.
How many people do you think President Biden let into our country illegally? Just give me a ballpark figure.
Sir, we don't know for certain, but we believe it could be upwards to 20 million people that are illegally in this country.
So that's like adding 10 Nebraskas to our country, isn't it?
That's correct.
Senator Kennedy just delivered one of the most direct takedowns of Biden's border policy I've ever seen in a Senate hearing. And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem's responses? They're going to make Democrats furious. Watch what happens when Kennedy asks the question that cuts right to the heart of the immigration debate.
Why do you think President Biden and my Democratic colleagues did that? Do you think they believe in open borders?
I think they believed in open borders and letting people come into this country that would affect our society and criminals. Those other countries emptying out the worst of the worst, their mental institutions, their prisons came in here and jeopardized, and known terrorists.
Well, only one or two circumstances are possible, it seems to me. Either President Biden and the Democrats who supported him believe in open borders, or the people that President Biden put in charge of securing the border, you wouldn't trust to run a snowball stand, right?
That is correct.
So nobody is that incompetent. So it has to be, they just believe in open borders, do they not?
Yes, because I know the people who were securing the border and they weren't allowed to do their job.
Do you think they believe that vetting people at the border is racist?
Yes, I do. I think by the way they allowed people in and granted them immediate parole status.
Do you think that President Biden and some of my Democratic colleagues, I don't want to paint with too broad a brush, Madam Secretary, thought of these foreign nationals in our country illegally as potential new voters?
I do, sir.
Okay. If you're an ordinary American and you oppose illegal immigration, but you support legal immigration, does that make you a racist?
No, sir. No, sir, not at all. It just means that you believe there should be a rule of law, and that's what America was built on.
And that's what you've been enforcing, right?
Exactly. We have been following the Constitution and the rule of law in this country.
And I want to be sure I understand, because there's been a lot of confusing testimony here. You've secured the border, have you not?
This administration has, yes, sir.
And some of my colleagues are upset with you.
Yes, sir.
And they say you did it wrong.
Yes, sir.
And do you agree with me that what they're really upset about is that you did it at all?
Yes, sir.
Senator Kennedy didn't just question DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, he walked her through a masterclass in political messaging. This wasn't about policy details or bureaucratic procedures. This was about forcing Democrats to own the results of Biden's border policies. Notice Kennedy's strategy here. He starts with a simple premise. You've secured the border, haven't you? When Noem confirms, he immediately pivots to the real issue, not whether the border can be secured, but whether Democrats actually want it secured. The 20 million people figure Noem cited? That's not just a number, that's Kennedy forcing Democrats to confront the scale of what happened under Biden. That's like adding 10 Nebraskas to our country, he says. He's making abstract policy consequences tangible for everyday Americans. But here's the political genius of this exchange. Kennedy offers Democrats only two explanations for Biden's border policy. Either they believe in open borders, or they're incompetent. Nobody is that incompetent, Kennedy concludes, so it has to be they just believe in open borders. That's not just a question, that's a trap. Democrats can't claim incompetence without looking weak, and they can't defend open borders without losing moderate voters. When Kennedy asks if Democrats view illegal immigrants as potential new voters, he's touching the third rail of immigration politics. Most Republicans think it. Few say it in official hearings. Kennedy said it. The final exchange is pure political theater. What they're really upset about is that you did it at all. Kennedy's forcing Democrats to defend being upset about border security success. That's a losing position in American politics. This hearing shows why Kennedy has become one of the most effective questioners in the Senate. He doesn't just ask questions, he builds narratives that forces opponents into political corners they can't escape. If you want more unfiltered analysis of what's really happening in Congress, the moment's mainstream media won't show you. Smash that like button and subscribe. I break down every major hearing, so you get the truth, not the spin. And drop a comment below. Do you think Kennedy nailed it, or did he go too far?